start to settle in. There we go. Check in. I love that word these days. Check in with what's going on. I was listening to a talk by Sharon Salzberg yesterday, and people have talked about, Sharon Salzberg for decades. She's a meditation specialist. She went to India in the 70s. So she says, man, it was the 70s. And her university gave people permission to take a year off and go self-study. So she went to India and she found Ram Dass. Yeah, I know. Back in the day when everybody was doing everything, if you get my drift. And they were, they're doing whatever. But Sharon Salzberg came back, I want to say 3-4 years later. And, she went in having never meditated a day in her life to mind blown, And listening to words of someone who's been there, done that, is always a nice thing. So we got the renewal card. So if you have time, look up some Sharon Salzberg. She speaks really plainly, just really on the level. You get into meditation, your thoughts come at you. The meditation really starts, or the focusing, the going inside starts when you catch yourself. Oh, I've been thinking. What have I been thinking about? Well, if what have I been thinking about takes you off and about again on one of your thought journeys, then you start again when you bring back and you go, oh, I was gone again. And it's a practice in bringing awareness into the moment. Where am I going? Where am I going? Where am I going? Really, are any of us going anywhere? I mean, in a sense, sure. But the meditation is to bring it back. So we're going to use the yoga to kind of bring it back today. We're going to bring it back and we're going to move in to a little awareness, a little renewal. It says, listen, your heart is calling. A thirsty heart cannot be quenched by logic. It must drink from the well of life and be replenished. Each time it breaks, it comes to hold more, but its essence does not change. Your heart holds your truth in every breath. What does it say? Listen, and you shall be reborn. Take a moment to listen. Listen to the workings of the body. Pause in the breath as it moves in and moves out. Pause into a moment and kind of wrap yourself in your own gentle kindness. What it is that you offer to the world. Notice whether you feel heavy or you feel light. And as the next breath pulls in full and deep, let it settle into the pit of the belly and pause there just a moment. Holding around that, creating a stillness with the respiratory system. And when the need arises, breathe that breath completely out and hold the out breath. And when you need to breathe in, breathe in. And drop the chin down on the chest. And drop the hands down onto the floor. Walk the hands to the right while that upper back curls down toward the knee. Third eye reaching toward the right kneecap. Curling back up, slowly walking through center, pausing. Each little piece is going to have a pause. Moving left, curling down and in. Make room for the pause. Curling back up, move through center, stretch out a little further and pause. Let the breath fill you as you roll back up. Fingertips right behind the head. Step the feet forward. Glue the soles of the feet to the mat. Lift the heart space and just hold. Twist the upper body to the right. Let that left elbow come down on the left knee. Yep, left knee. There you go. Feel the squeeze, the hold, the pause causes a contraction in that belly. What in life have you paused for, and instead of creating a release, it created tension? Lift up through center and hold. Torso twists left. Bring that elbow down, right elbow, right knee. Create the contraction. Mimicking some sort of holding in your life. Yoga mimics life. Continuing to breathe. Let that body come up, center, breath and hold. Lean it back, hold there. So you've got a nice recline going on. Beautiful. Hands sweep forward, palms turn up. Keep that recline. Just hold here. What are you holding? Somewhat we're holding on, or we're gripping. We're just holding. Right leg sweeps up and over the left. Create that eagle wrap if you can get all the way down. Otherwise, squeeze it all together. Grab that knee, pull the belly up and in, and just hold there. The hands release the knee. The left hand comes over, the right hand comes over. We twist and roll toward the left. Unwinding slightly, opposite side. Just letting the legs kind of come with if they want to. They may not want to. Big breath. Knees rise, hands rise, grab up that top leg, unwind, fingertips back up behind those ears, feet nice and firm on the floor, lean back and pause. Renewal in each moment. Each moment, this whole thing can be a meditation. I hold, I bring my thoughts back in. Sweep the hands out, palms up just over those knees. We hold in that abdominal space. The mind's wanting to run away in the pause. Pull it back. Grab up that left leg, wrap it over, squeeze in. Yes. Right hand lands, left hand lands. We slide in and just hold there. Obviously, one side of the body playing along and the other going, no. Full breath. Exhale. Release. Slide to the other side. Ooh, coming unwrapped. Yeah, I'm coming unwrapped. Noticing that COVID is causing things to come unwrapped for sure. All of this pausing. Can't run away from the self anymore. Lift up through center. Feet come together in the middle. Lift, dive down toward the toes. Those feet can wander way out and away if they want to, or the heels can pull in through groin space. Just pause here. What do we find in the pause? The body rolls up. The cushion is removed. Unless you need the cushion for knees, we're going to roll forward onto hands and knees. Find stability through the palms of the hands. Nice downward press through the knees and the tops of the feet, crown of the head pressing forward, belly button draws in, and then just hold. Pressing down through shins to create rise just a little bit through the spine. Notice the breath wants to be held, but see if you can hold the body still while you continue to breathe. Filling, releasing, and then let the body tick-tock from side to side. Turn the gaze from one ankle to the other. A C to C motion, a C on one side and a C on the other. Nice. Pausing through center. Sit the hips back just a little. I'm going to turn sideways. Sit the hips back. Reach back for that right heel and crawl the left arm to the right. Lift the hips again into a half rabbit. Ooh, find the armpit on the left side and hold. Right hand symbolizes the past, left hand symbolizes the future, the body symbolizes the present. What do we find when we pause? Inhale. Exhale. Right hand comes out to meet the left. Put the fingers together, the thumbs and the pointer fingers. Slide the nose to the right over those fingers. You're going to get a little IT band stretch out of the side of the hip, maybe. Depends on how tight your IT bands are. If you want to lift the outer left leg, you could lift the outer left leg if you feel like you're not getting a ton out of that. Wherever you go, pause. If left knee is up, put it down. Slide the hips back to the left first. Stretch through both armpits. And then come back through tabletop in the middle, just for a moment. Knees press down, shins press down, tops of the feet press down, belly button draws up. Press those hands down. Nice length through the crown of the head. Pressing down through the shins so much you could lift the knees if you wanted to. They would rise away from the floor and find that hold. The knees land if they're up. Left hand sweeps back to that right ankle. Right hand reaches across the front, so we're twisted across the midline of the body. You should be feeling a huge stretch through the latissimus dorsi on the right-hand side of the body. Ooh, so much so, my whole body is shaking. What do we find when we pause? It's so much easier to keep moving. Pandemic caused us to stop our major movements, our migrations. Breathe in, breathe out. Left hand slides over by right. Make that triangle with the thumb and forefinger. Bring those bodies over. Sit that left hip closer to the mat. That's going to get that inside stretch. If you want to lift that outer leg for the hip, then lift. Breathing in and out. Right knee comes down. Press the hips to the right. They're going right, they're going right. We're stretching both armpits and just holding. Where does the breath go? Where is the beginning and the end? Hands slide to the center. Plant one more time. Tops of feet press down. Hands press down. This time, press. Let those knees rise until you're almost on the tips of the toes. Head can hang or head can stay at neutral, stretching through the tops of the feet. Inhale one big time. Curl the right toes, flip, curl the left toes, flip. Downward facing dog. If you need to pedal it out, pedal it out. We won't pause in the dog quite yet. Letting heels sink in, letting shoulders move. Nice. And then lift the heels so that the toes get a nice stretch. Let the heart be just pulled toward the tips of the toes. So the armpits stretch open. Let the hands stretch nice and wide, fingertips moving away from the base of the hand. And then bend the knees a lot, belly into thighs. Big breath in. And on the breath out, press the heels toward the mat. And elongate. See if the crown of the head can push away from the tip of the tailbone. And the tip of the tailbone sweeps up toward the ceiling. That intensifies that stretch. Your plantar fascia, you might be able to identify it. Wrapping down across, over the top, the bottom of the calcaneus. Attaching at the bottom of the foot. Breathe in. Breathe out. Roll out into plank. If the wrists have had enough, don't worry, they're going to get a break. Right foot steps up next to the right pinky. Hold, long lunge. So the back heel is up, front knee is right over the ankle. I made fists out of my hands because after so many years of martial arts, there's only so much my wrists can handle. Stretch that groin space down toward the floor. Reach back through the left heel. Reach long through the crown of the head and hold. Back knee drops. That foot comes in toward the right glute. Lift up, cartwheel. Face the left side of the mat. So for those that are directionally challenged, this should look a little more familiar. Left hand lands, reach back, mini stargazer. Hold and breathe. If you want to reach all the way back and kick that front leg toward the front of the mat, you could. Breathing in, breathing out, front leg bends, cartwheel all the way down, right elbow, right thigh, left arm reaches over the ear. Front knee right over that ankle. Bring that left cheek into the mix. Inhale. Exhale, both hands on right thigh. Bring third eye down on top of the hands. Just pausing. The hands land on the inside of that right foot again. Those left toes direct themselves backwards. Wrap the right elbow underneath the right thigh. And if you feel inclined, reach down, touch your nose to your ankle or your foot. Holding and pausing. If you need to drop that back knee, if you need to do something different, do that. Lifting up and away. Feet step back, plank posture. Hold there. Oh yeah. This is where a lot of swearing starts in this particular practice. The move and the hold and the move and the hold. And this is where people have been starting to scream and claw at the world because they're paused. Knees bend, hips press back, child. And start to notice what part of your identity is wrapped up in your yoga practice. Do I identify as a yogi, or do I identify as strong? Do I identify as flexible? And is any part of your current life being threatened in a similar way? My flexibility is being threatened. My strength is being threatened. My ability to love myself is being threatened. Plant the hands, lift the head. Look up between the fingers, decide dolphin with the forearms down or downward facing dog. Slide over the fingertips, curl the toes, bend the knees, press the hips way back, knees bent, belly to thighs. Then stretch the heels back, press the arms down. If you need to come down into a tabletop instead, establish yourself there. Ori's got, she's got her dolphin arms going on. So if you didn't know what a dolphin was, those are forearms down. Breathing in, breathing out. Holding, pausing. Shift forward back into plank. Where is my identity in plank? How do I identify here? Look at that left pinky, left foot steps forward. Hold long. If you need to make fists or come down onto forearms or drop that back knee to take the pressure off the wrists, those are all good options. That back knee is going to drop now anyways. Right foot is going to turn in. We're going to cartwheel up into a knee down, side facing warrior. And just hold. What am I holding on to? Right hand drops, left hand reaches back. If you want to put those fingertips down and kick that left leg forward, then you do the full body stretch. You get that left quad flex, but if not, you're just stretching and reaching. Left leg bends, up and over we go. Left elbow down on left thigh, right arm. Simple stretch, out and over. But hold, breathe in. Exhaling. Moving more closely to your true essence in the pause. Both hands down on that thigh. Third eye drops in just for the hold. Hands reach down to the inside of that left foot. Right leg goes long. Stretch yourself out. Left arm underneath that leg if you want to. Sitting down into it, drop that forehead down into that ankle. If the knee needs to come down, or if you just want to come down on the forearms instead, make it work for your body. Because this is a lunge with a twist. Squeeze that right cheek. Elongate through that right heel. Slide up and out. Hands plant. Press left foot back. Find that plank. Knees down. Child pose. If not child, then puppy. If not puppy, then hero. If knees are the issue, come down onto forearms. Pad up under the knees and just shift. Listen, your heart is calling. A thirsty heart cannot be quenched by logic. It must drink from the well of life and be replenished. Each time it breaks, it comes to hold more, but its essence does not change. Your heart holds the truth in every breath. What does it say? Listen, and you shall be reborn. Hands plant, hips lift. Right foot steps up by that pinky. Hold there. It's a bit of a short stance. We're going to curl those back toes, press that back heel down, pyramid pose. Walk the hands up the thigh and hold there if you need to, but if you can hold down with all the toes facing forward, and just hold. Couple of choices next. You can walk up to the thigh and move into a supported airplane. Back leg lifts, or you can simply flip and go into split. Once that back leg is up, reestablish. There's going to be lots of moving in the holding. Nothing ever stops moving. Every atom in your body is moving. But what is the body trying to say around its constant vibration? What is the world saying? What is your heart saying? Breathe in. Breathe out. Step feet next to each other, nice and wide. Wide as the mat. Forward fold, wide leg. Hold there. If you want to cup the fingertips under the toes, and then elbows press out and the crown of the head reaches toward the floor. Find that space. Move into space and let the breath open you more. I know that in my personal practice, my personal work, I don't so much practice a ton of yoga on my own. It's the other yoga I've been practicing. And I'm having to go in and practice more and more to create more space, opening doors by sweeping out old thoughts and ideas. Breathing in, breathing out. Anybody that's going to practice crow plants the hands, toes turn out. We tip forward. Those that aren't going to go there but do have a bit of a garland practice, you can drop your hips back. Hands come to prayer. Yep. Cosmic squat. Beautiful. Yep. Take that modification there if you need to. What's in the hold? Yep. If you are up in a crow and you want to come down into garland, come down. If you've got your elbow on your thigh, beautiful. We're going to go right. Right fingertips come down. Ori's going to do the fun low version. I'm going to do the modified high version. Right elbow on thigh, hand up. Might find shaking in the pausing. Yes. Let it shake apart that excess energy, that vibration that doesn't belong. Come through center. What doesn't need to be there? And then opposite side. Reach. Find yourself a little deeper in these moments. Hands come center, toes forward, forward fold one more time. Hands plant, right foot steps way back. Nice long lunge at first. Left foot steps back, plank. Knees, child or puppy. And pause. Hands plant, head pulls forward, left foot next to that left pinky. Holding there. Curl those back toes. Press that back heel down, pyramid pose. Now you know what choice you took on the first side when you decided to come up. The hands are on the thigh, then it's supported. Those toes can always stay on the floor. You could always come up on the back of a chair and hold there. Big breath. And then choices, either come up the leg for that airplane pose, launch, do all of those things. If the hands want to just sneak forward and you move into that standing split. Like my standing split, it doesn't look like the front of a magazine. I also don't care because this is going to be a work in progress for the rest of my life. And it's going to give me something to do, something to play with. So
What am I doing in the hold? Am I just being? Am I struggling? Am I finding compassion for myself? As Sharon Salzberg was talking about yesterday, finding compassion for ourselves in those moments. The legs come down, the feet go wide. Oh, we hang our heads. This time, cup the hands toward the backs of the thighs, the calves, the Achilles, or the heels. If you can lift the heels and step down onto those fingertips, nice. If not, you may need to come up to the shins and hold there. You want to find a nice balance so that the back isn't rounded. We don't want to exacerbate the curve. Finding compassion in the moment for ourselves. I found myself doing last night something she was talking about as I was listening yesterday. It says we get to the end of the day and we start to evaluate our lives. And we're sitting there going, God, I wish I didn't say what I said at the meeting. Oh, I wish I hadn't said what I said. Oh, I should have said, I should have said, I should have said. How many of us actually just get to the end of the day and go, these are the 5 good things I did today? Release the hands. Hands to knees. Cat and cow a few times. Stretch it up. Lower it down. Stretch it up. Lower it down. Stretch it up. Lower it down. Stretch that spine up. Roll. Lift arms. Nice and proud. Head balances on top. Find your working Tadasana. Ta-da! And instead of looking for what's wrong, find 5 things in this moment that are right. In the pause, 5 things. Go. Breathe in, hands up overhead. Hook those thumbs, dive through the universe, over the body. Feet are still wide. Pull those kneecaps up so that the quads flex, and then the belly button is drawn in. Press the hips forward, little tiny back bend, and then just hold there. Even if the fingers went back an inch, if you've got cactus arms, you're just lifting through the elbow points. Big breath. Sweep all the way down and through to the floor. When the hands connect, pause there. Whether they're connecting with thighs, shins, feet, or floor, we pause. Left foot's going to step way back, lunge position. Heel is high, and it's a little wider than you're used to. So we're stepping from corner to corner on that mat. Arms sweep up. And find true stability by being a little wider. Sometimes, like my instructor Dana says, take up more room. Take up some space. What happens if I make my stance just a little wide, not like wide, but a little wider than normal, so that I have more space to settle into? And see what you find in the pause. You may find you need your shoulders to do something different. You might want to pick up the front toes and move that left hip a little further forward and that right hip a little further back so that you can get down in that front thigh a little more. And then when the shaking starts and you think, oh my God, what am I doing this for? Right. What are we doing this for? Breathe in. Breathe out, dive back down toward the floor. Hold there, the pause in between. Here's the magic trick. I'm going to turn around. We're going to take that left foot, slide it up and behind the right, crossing the legs, sweep the body up into a bit of an eagle squat. So it's a cosmic squat meets a Garudasana posture. Here's the fun part. Shift into that left heel, lift that right knee. And if you want to do the eagle arm wrap, right arm underneath left and wrap it all the way up. Squeezing inner thighs together. You may not have been able to get the full leg wrap. Don't let that frustrate you. Breathe in. Breathe out, arms back where you need them. Shift into that right foot again. Hands back down to the floor. Step that left leg back. Right leg back. Plank. Oh, breathing in. Pausing and breathing out. And then downward facing dog. For those of you with any kind of handstand practice, if you want to walk your toes in a little, kicking up, you may not hit it. Ooh, hey, there's a wall there today. Breathing in, breathing out, bring it back down. Knees land, child pose. Yep, one more side. And then it'll be Shavasana time. The ultimate pause, the ultimate hold, the release time, the education time. Hands land, toes, step back, find that plank. Oh yeah. Drop the belly, squeeze those inner thighs together. Downward facing dog. Pause. All right, here we go. Opposite side, left foot steps forward. Find that wide leg high lunge. Hold there. Just find the lunge. Pause into it. We know where we're going with it this time, so set it up. Then sweep that body up. Shoulder blades come back and together to kiss. Arms in any configuration that feels good. If you happen to be too wide, make the adjustment, but that left knee, take the time, move it right over the ankle. If you have any pinching in the low back, maybe bend that back knee. That will almost immediately relieve the tension. What's here? What is here? And we just hold. It's in the hold. It's the juicy bits. Nice. Sweep those hands back down. Ruh-roh. I was so lost in the hold. Oh yeah. Oh, the good part. Thank God for Ori. Right leg steps across. See, that's where the body didn't want to go. That's why. Right leg steps behind left. Then we roll the body up and pause there. Cactus arms setting in. Yep. Find that half eagle and either stay there or shift back, sitting down and in, legs wrapping, left leg over right, left arm underneath and across if you want to do the full wrap. See, I paused so long, I got lost in space. And that can happen too. Arms sweep back out. Toes step back in. Hands come down to the floor. Hold for just a moment. Stepping out and back. Long lunge turns into your plank. Plank turns into down dog or tabletop. Your down dog can turn into a handstand or a child. Oops, through the wall again. Handstand turns into child. And then child rolls onto the back. Pause in a happy baby. Let the effort turn into something different. We take all of that energy. We build, and we squeeze, and we pull apart, and we center, and then we come down and see what's real. Why do I practice? Why do I need to move? Why do I do this instead of just sit in meditation for an hour? Find what you love to do and do it more. That's the next level. Soles of the feet come together. Hold there just a moment. Hands and feet all just bound together. Upper body still relaxed. Bringing the energies in and down. Either hands on ankles, outsides of feet. Lift, press the feet into the hands. Allow the shoulders to be pulled away from the ears. Chin tucks into the hollow of the throat. Squeezes that thyroid on the front of the throat. Head and shoulders roll back down, arms out into T position, knees together, legs drop off to the left side. If you want to do an eagle wrap to get there, then eagle wrap. Head could stay at neutral or toward the ceiling or turn toward the opposite shoulder. Before I found yoga, I didn't know how to pause. I'd spent most of my life running from myself. I got too close to what I didn't like. The next thing you'd know is I was moving, or I was going to Alaska to work on a ranch. No, I'm moving to Montana now. Nope, I'm off to Korea. Man, I had mastered running.
Pull up and in. Center. Equalize and center for a moment. Pause there. And then when the body signals, drop to the other side. So a lot of people are the opposite. So I was a runner, at least that's what I call us. Other people get paralyzed. You know, it's that fight, flight, or freeze. So, yep. So a lot of people freeze. And then they build a box. And then they go and they live in that box. And they go, okay, these are the things I can control. And it's not a bad thing. It's just the way we develop. I go into those things and I control those things. So in the pause, you know, in Korea, I had run and run and run and run, and I got into martial arts, and then I hurt my back really, really badly, and they told me to stop martial arts, and I kept doing martial arts, and I hurt my back again. So my instructor was brilliant. He's like, here, you're going to do Tai Chi for the next 3 months. I was terrible at it. Hated it. And then I found yoga, and I'd slowed down enough to practice. I paused. I was forced to pause. On the next breath in, those knees come up center. We pause here with the hands on the kneecaps, attaching the energy of the upper body to the lower body, creating 2 circles. 2 circles of energy. Just finding the time to breathe in and out. Thighs come closer to the body. Reach up through the heels. See if you can grab the toes. If you can grab the toes, extend through the backs of the thighs. Neck is nice and long. If you need to just reach for the backs of the thighs, do that. But press so that that lumbar spine flattens out into the floor, and so that the backs of the hamstrings come nice and long and really separate themselves from the glute bank. And then what comes next is the ultimate hold, the ultimate pause. It's where the body takes what we just did and assimilates the practice. Release the feet. Make your way into Shavasana. If you want something up under the backs of the legs, put something under the backs of the legs. Or he's going to put her legs up the wall. I'm going to move into a meditative seat, and you guys do what feels most appropriate. If you feel like you've missed a posture somewhere along the way, you might want to add that first. As you rest in, deepen, pull in, lengthen. Start at the crown of the head and make your way all the way down to the heels. And as you come from the crown of the head, just tell different body parts. Forehead, loosen. Crease of the brow, loosen. Eyes, loosen. Jaw, release. Breath, release. Hands, soften. Low back, soften.
hips, release. Knees, relax. Feet, loosen. Life makes its mark with no obligation, no expectation. Its masterpiece is lost beneath what is next. Time is frozen, like an expectant hiatus. Refresh into perpetual renewal. Now is always awaiting you. What a grand moment to experience ourselves. Even the racing of the mind, or the stillness of the mind, the throbbing of the pulse points, expansion of the breath. What a grand moment to be alive. Are we truly living? Make space for another breath.
Make space for compassion for yourself. If others only knew how good we were to ourselves or how we beat ourselves up. If only we could just make the time to pause. Pause in between those thoughts. Use the breath. Breathe again. We are alive. Alive. Either start to make incremental movements or just make a little more space in the belly for our final 3 breaths. No need to move fast. Just hanging out. We'll end as we always do with belly, ribs, and collarbones and sound. Any kind of sound that makes your soul want to skip. Breathe into the belly. Into the ribs. Fill yourself all the way up. Oh, from our house to yours. Namaste. The light in me bows down to the light in you. Thank you for being here today. That's it. All right, tomorrow